Alright class, mic's on, we're about to flip the script. This is the Takeover Class of Culture, a student-led podcast where curiosity sets the table and culture is always on the menu. Here, young voices flip the script on who leads the learning, and in our classroom, we explore culture, identity, and the heart of it all, what does community mean to you? From shared meals to shared struggles, nothing's off the table. Pull up a chair, this is where learning gets real.
Gonna be cool.
Oh, that is so cool, bro. You're gonna be wearing it?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear the Naruto Shippuden shirt while watching Naruto Shippuden.
Now, how many episodes of Naruto Shippuden is there?
Well, in total there's 500 episodes, but however, there are 297 filler episodes.
Okay, so quite a few.
Yeah, so that means I only have to watch 203 episodes.
Okay. But can I tell you something? If you wear a t-shirt for 200 and shma episodes, you're going to be stinky boy. So please make sure that you wash that shirt at least every few episodes.
This is the Takeover. Today we're looking at pop culture and fandoms, from anime to online worlds, and how we create our own worlds or play in the creative worlds of others. For some of us, our creative work is where we find belonging, even when real-life friendships are hard. Here's Shredder talking about making his own web series and the barriers he faces.
Truth is, I don't really have any real-life friends to hang around with. I'd love real-life friends, but social anxiety just kills me. It is hard to bring a community around based off my interests and other people's interests. A thing that I've had a problem with is whenever I'm building a community and I have a community based off this interest, and if I was to share that community that has my interest to anyone else around Western Sydney, there's just going to be a lot of people calling my project quote-unquote gay. And for me, who's really passionate about my community and what my interests are, just hearing someone call it it is homophobic, yes, but it's just offensive to me. I just find it offensive because how does one show relate to sexuality and LGBTQ? Yes, my show does include the LGBTQ, but it's not just solely around LGBTQ. Having just one fan or one person that enjoys my show and enjoys the characters that I've worked on, it feels better than anything. And that's what I really want to do. I want to bring enjoyment to everyone through characters I create and stories I tell. I want to make people have fun by watching my show and just having a good time and sharing a community. To be honest, Western Sydney, living there, just based off my experience, I have not been in any proper community that's really been accepting. And to find an accepting community like the one I'm creating is very hard. And that's the thing I want to do. I want to bring together a community that's easy to find and that people would enjoy. Because, it's not just within Western Sydney, it's the whole world. I remember back in my old high school, because of me having an interest of anime, I was picked on having year 7. People called me gay, and that's what I just really, really, really hate, and that's what I find disgusting, because for me, I'm an Arab, I'm Muslim, I'm Lebanese. A stereotype within me is that I have to like NRL. I have to not like anything that has to do with anything LGBTQ related. I have to be this, I have to be that, and that's just... I want to be able to include everyone, because I want everyone to be happy. And, I don't want people to be left out. I don't want to take too much of a negative punch towards anyone. I know there's a lot of good people within my community, but there's a lot of younger people, younger kids and young adults that basically enforce this type of stereotype. I don't want to just be in Western Sydney. I want to be able to travel across the world and meet new people. The only thing I really want to send you right now, if in the next 10 years, is probably sending you an email of papers of my show getting greenlighted.
You don't have to change who you are. You just continue being you. Creativity can help us connect to like-minded people and build communities that are accepting. I love Naruto, And here's an interview I did, creating connection with Cantabrian Mr. Brock, also a Naruto geek.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
That's nice to hear. We're going to be doing this interview podcast of this kind of show, this anime show that you and I both have in common that we like.
Awesome.
It's called Naruto.
Perfect.
We're going to head up to the first question
Okay.
right now. Rock Lee is a student in the Ninja Academy, and many of the other students look down on him because he doesn't know ninjutsu or genjutsu, which means he can't do magical techniques and illusion. He only knows taijutsu, which is physical combat. I relate to Rock Lee because I have felt misunderstood before. I believe Rock Lee reflects the school's values of truth and honor because he wants to make his sensei and mentor proud and self-development like me. Do you agree? If not, is there another character you would think reflects these values?
I think Rock Lee probably does reflect truth, honor, and he also has a massive area of self-development. He knows that there's a limitation for his abilities, but he doesn't let it define him at all. If anything, he makes his limitation his strength, you know, like his physical capabilities. And similar to Naruto, he was the weakest kid at school when strength and power is the most valuable attribute. But he worked at it every day, pretty much, maybe a little bit too much, to get stronger.
That sounds like you. That sounds like you. That sounds like you. Sometimes you try a little bit too hard and you push yourself beyond your limits.
Yeah.
And that must be why you relate to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning so much about Naruto.
Yeah, he often is pushing himself too hard. But he can reflect, okay, we go again tomorrow. This is hard, this sucks, I really don't enjoy this. But we go again tomorrow and try and get better. And then in the end, he ends up being such an unwavering supporter of Naruto and his village and his community that he goes from this kid that can barely do a push-up to being one of the most powerful people and strongest in his world. You know, like he's one of my favorite characters.
Naruto's goal is to become Hokage, the greatest ninja ever, so that everyone in the village would stop disrespecting him and look up to him as somebody important. What values did you see Naruto depict in this anime franchise that you also have with him in common?
I find that Naruto has his character is so well-rounded that almost everyone can see a part of themselves in him. So what I drew out for myself was resilience was a big one. Like you said earlier, his whole life, or most of his life, he has been looked down upon because of his background. But he doesn't let that bother him. You know, he always keeps pushing forward, being himself all the way through the whole show. He grows, but his core personality, he doesn't change that. He doesn't feel like he needs to remove that part of himself ever, like at all, even when maybe at times he really needs to pull it back just a little bit. But
I believe that Naruto story connects to real life for a lot of people, which contributes to its popularity. What have you experienced in real life that relates to Naruto's story?
I think when I was really, engaging with the Naruto storyline, the big one for me was forgiveness. If you really reflect, Naruto would be completely in the right to abandon all of the people that had let him down, that had disrespected him, that, really wished for him ill upon him. But he knew really deep down that these people deserved the forgiveness. These people were encountering things in their lives that were really hard and really scary. You know, he's got the 9 tails in him, the most powerful, you know, beast in the entire world. So people were scared of him, that he was carrying this, and he was able to put that aside and to understand that it's not really me. It's this part of me that I haven't got any control over, and just realize, okay, I can forgive them for that, and I can try and actually build a better life and to show them that I am not this person that they think I am or they view me as. And he was able to forgive them. Like, there are times in my life where people, you know, really didn't have my best interests at heart and were actively trying to bring me down, and not to let that really eat away at you. That's probably my biggest one in parallel to Naruto's story.
When Mr. Brock talked about Rock Lee taking off his ankle weights, it made me think about all the hard work I've been doing, even when no one notices. Sometimes resilience is training in the dark until you're ready to show your strength. That scene and my talk with Mr. Brock reminded me that everything I've faced is preparing me for something greater.
Ever notice how some cartoons stick with you past childhood? Shows like The Simpsons, Rugrats, Adventure Time, they weren't just for laughs. Underneath the jokes, they had something real to say about growing up, family, identity, and everything in between. While other kids were quoting SpongeBob, I was sitting with Rocco, an Australian wallaby living life in the USA, getting crushed by living dollar bills, having awkward moments in his friendships, and dealing with the absurdity of working life. It wasn't just funny. As I started to mature, it became familiar. I started noticing how people dodged real conversations and how systems kind of sucked. Cartoons like that didn't hide away the real world. They showed it in chaos behind a TV screen. And that gave me confidence. I realized I didn't have to wear a happy face to be accepted. I started to show the real me, because Rocco taught me that pretending everything's fine is actually the biggest joke of all. Pop culture matters. It doesn't just entertain, it shapes how we connect. And the right cartoon at the right time can make you a more honest version of yourself.
I'm an artist. Yes, that is correct. I am an artist. Something I love about being a writer is that it's my passion. I take my emotions, world events, and things that have happened to me or around the world, and I use them to create a story that builds compassion and empathy in audiences. Like when I wrote my story about my character called Sherry, who is a hybrid species between a hyena and a bat. And Sherry actually mirrors similar struggles to someone who is mixed race in real life. The most important thing that happened in my life was building my community of people who shared the same interests as me. They came from different backgrounds. I am curious to understand and know how other people experience the world. My first instinct when people are hurt is to help. I want to continue connecting with people from different communities and families to build my own empathy and empathy in others. I wasn't always like this though. I have had to overcome my ignorance towards other communities. I grew up being distant to others and not knowing much about them. But after I got to know them better, I learned I was wrong. I was wrong for being ignorant, and that I should have never judged people based on which community they are a part of, whether it is their sexuality, belief, race, or interests. We are all one race, and that is human.
We acknowledge the Gadigal and Wangal peoples, who are the traditional custodians of the land we learn on. We wish to acknowledge their elders past and present, and to acknowledge that Aboriginal people have and continue to be the first and primary knowledge holders, protectors and sharers of these lands. We wish to extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in. As our podcast is focused on community, we wish to further acknowledge that First Nations people and cultures have much to teach us about community.
Yeah, we need a new table just to whiz.
You know what? I'll pay for it. Table's on me. Tables for me.
Alright, let's go.
I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna start working, and I'll donate the table.
Or wait, or just go to Vinny's. That'll actually be useful than this piece.
I'm pretty sure we can just walk around.